भाई तालियां तालियां कौन बजाएगा?
You can first sit here, we will call you to the stage. We will start immediately. We will start now. Yes, please sit. Very fast. Then you can go ahead and sit here.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
This is the best.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to request the guests to please be seated at the dais.
Better make it. तो क्या होने लेके बैठा? क्या हुआ?
A very good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, Sri Venkateshwara College, University of Delhi, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to each one present here. Our esteemed speakers, Principal Ma'am, faculty members, and all my fellow students. Om Ajnana Timirandhyasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It means that I offer my respectful obeisance unto my spiritual master, who has opened my eyes which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge. With these words of reverence to our teachers and mentors, I would like to invite our esteemed speakers, guests, Principal Ma'am, faculty members, and a student representative to light the lamp which would enable us to evade the darkness and enter into the world of spiritual awakening. Thank you, everyone. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Ipshita Tripathi of BSc Honours Electronics second year to recite the Saraswati Vandana as part of the invocation ceremony.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवे सदा वन्दिता सा मा पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you, Apshita, for adding a melodious touch to our auspicious event. So to begin with, I, Doyle Dasgupta, a student of BSc Honours Electronics first year, feel extremely honoured to be opening today's event amongst such accomplished personalities. I would like to point to the fact that right from the very time we gain our consciousness, our minds get flooded with numerous questions like, what should we focus on to be successful in life? Or maybe, what are the techniques that we should invoke into our lives to make it a fruitful one? The answers to these questions will indeed kindle a spiritual flame within our minds. Today, we have gathered here to find answers to such questions. Now, I would like to invite Beena Bani to take us along with the felicitation ceremony.
Thank you, Doyle. Before moving ahead, I would like to request Krishna Kumar sir to present a tulsi plant to the known as Vrinda Devi to our distinguished guest, His Grace Leela Shuk Prabhuji. I request Hari Singh sir again to present a tulsi plant to our distinguished guest, His Grace Amrit Gaur Prabhuji. Now I request Shruti Banawal to introduce our first speaker, His Grace Leela Shuk Prabhuji.
Thank you, Veena. Spirituality is a brave search for the truth about the existence, fearlessly peering into the mysterious nature of life. By this quote, we can say that spirituality is an important and necessary way which leads us to mental and inner peace. With this, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, His Grace Leela Sukdas. He is from Tallinn, Estonia. In 2005, he came to Krishna consciousness and also met his spiritual master, His Grace Sriman Shankar Shandas Adhikari, and since then he started practicing devotional services to Krishna. From 2005 to 2009, he studied in Tarda University, and after that, in 2010, he joined the Brahmachari Ashram in ISKCON Temple in Tallinn. He was mostly engaged in preaching during his temple for 9 years. Since 2019, during his 9 years, he got involved in expanding the preaching mission in Estonia and other countries through regular traveling and sharing Krishna consciousness with people and devotees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shruti. Now I request Viva Yadav to introduce His Grace Amrit Gaur Das
Motivation is the key which helps one to build the tomorrow an individual wants and be strong in any situation going in life. Now, I would like to introduce our motivational speaker, His Grace Amrit Gaur Das. He has done bachelor's, master's and research and development in the technology. He was a professor at Yani Zail Singh College. He is actually a motivational speaker, life coach, ISKCON Brahmacharya and a preacher also. After getting settled in his life, he found out that he isn't actually happy with the materialistic thing. So he decided to do something for our youth. After which he joined ISKCON temple for advanced knowledge of self-realization, which lead him to providing direction to the youth for their better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Vibha. Now I feel extremely honored to invite our guest speakers to conduct the workshop on the art of mind control.
Okay, let's try without the microphone. Can everybody hear me? Yes. So even in the back, not in the back. Okay, I don't need to use the microphone then. Okay, can you hear me in the back also now? Okay, good, good, very nice, wonderful. In your Venkateshwaram College, Sri Balaji Ki Jai. Oh, another microphone. Thank you. Good, now we can move around. So, all glories to Balaji. By the grace of Krishna, we are here today with all of you wonderful teachers and students, and we're going to speak on topic of art of mind control. So our today's presentation has many parts. I'm doing the first part, and as it was mentioned, my name is Leela Shukadas and I'm from Estonia. Who knows where is Estonia? Oh, not so much people. Okay, but thank you. So Estonia is in Northeast Europe. It's close to Finland and Latvia, and we have a border with Russia. So, okay. Now I'm asking everybody to tune in and focus, because we're going to have a very wonderful 2 hours together. Yes, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Everybody feels comfortable? Good, good. Very nice, very nice. So also from my side, I would like to chant this Sanskrit shloka, which actually was already chanted, but I'm also going to chant it in order to offer my respects to my spiritual master and ask for his blessings for all of us today here. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Viritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, I'm here to speak on the art of mind control. So, first of all, let's speak about whose mind we want to control. Someone else's mind? The mind of our friend? Or the mind of our wife? Our husband? And I already heard ladies saying, no, not anybody else says it. Our own mind, right? Our own mind. Everything starts from ourselves. Yes? So therefore, we are focusing on our own mind. And the basis of today's Hare Krishna, okay. And the basis of today's presentations is Bhagavad Gita and the teachings of Shri Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So the microphone has a life of its own. He decides then we're going to switch off and switch on. It's now working. Now it's working. Okay. So, and in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling us something very, very important. Like this is better. It's gonna work all the time. Okay, good. Thank you. So, and Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, because he is the Supreme Lord. So that is something very important. Lord Brahma in Brahma Samhita has said, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anandiradir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's telling that Govinda Krishna, he's the source of everything. He's the cause of all causes. So therefore, this world that we're living in, it is created by him. And there are certain rules, certain laws, right? Just like there is a law of gravity. You throw something up and it comes down, right? It's not you throw something up and it stays here forever. No, everything will come down. So, so there are certain material and spiritual laws which are given by God. So now, when it comes to our existence, Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that the senses are superior to dead matter. Yes? Dead matter. For example, this table. So our senses, working senses like the hands, legs, senses, eyes, nose, ears, so on. So these are higher than dead matter because they are acting. The dead matter we interact with, but the dead matter is not coming to interact with us. So senses are higher than dead matter. Now, let me ask you, is it your eyes that see me, or you are seeing me through your eyes? So, gentlemen here, you were nodding. So, what would it be? Is it the eyes seeing, or you are seeing through your eyes? Through your eyes, isn't it? That's logical, right? So, but then, if I'm seeing through my eyes, I'm seeing all of you, then who is me? Am I these eyes? I'm not these eyes. I'm going to close my eyes, I'm still here, right? So that means I'm not these eyes. So Krishna is teaching that we are actually not these senses, but we are a driver in this body. Just like there is a driver in a car. And the car also has eyes, windows, it has a wheel, it has like legs which move the wheels. So also Krishna explains that we are the driver of this body. And the body consists of senses. Now Krishna more explains that the higher than the senses is the mind. So that means mind is higher than the senses. So we use the mind to accept or to reject. We like something and something we don't like. That is the function of the mind, according to the Vedic scriptures. And also with the mind, we think, we feel, we will. Yes, thinking, we think of something. Like you were thinking, oh, I'm going to come today for this seminar. And then, and then also feeling, yes, I will definitely go. You even told others, let's go together. And then you were willing to come. You actually made it. You came here. Congratulations. You're in the right place. So, but then Krishna continues and says that higher than the mind is intelligence. Wow, what is that? Is there something higher than the mind? Buddhi, intelligence. Because at this point, there is some other thing which is explained by Krishna, is that we are not the mind. Because you see, we're picking my hands, my legs, my mind, but who is me? So, first important thing in order to come to the control of the mind, because if mind is under control, we're going to be peaceful, we're going to be happy, we're going to be satisfied. And everybody wants to have that, right? Satisfaction, happiness, peace. So therefore it's a very, very relevant topic for all of us. Yes. And if the mind is not under control, then so much disturbances are there. For us and for those around us. So therefore, it's very, very essential topic. Actually, we should have 50,000 people at least listening. So, but you are very intelligent, you have come. So, you will learn, and then you can tell so many others. In this way, the knowledge will spread, and Krishna will be very happy with you. So therefore, we are not the mind. And that's the first thing we have to understand, that we are not the mind. The mind is a machine. It's a mechanism. Sometimes, you have voices in your head. It's not like something is there. Think something, do this, do that. And I think it's us or it's someone. But actually, what I have to understand in the first part of art of mind control is that the mind is not us. It's a mechanism, it's a machine, but it feels as if it's a live person, right? Inner dialogue, yes, like we're speaking with someone, somebody's telling us, no, you must do like this, you have to go there, do that, take this, feel like this, tell like that. So mind is a very lively object, a very lively mechanism, very strong, very, very strong. But higher than the mind is intelligence, buddhi, explains Krishna. So the function of the intelligence is to distinguish between what is beneficial for us and what is not. Especially long term, yes? Because Krishna explains that happiness which is like nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end, that's the happiness in the mode of passion. But we should not live in passion. We should live in goodness, sattva. So, therefore, the intelligence has to be strong. And intelligence has to tell to the mind what to accept, what to reject. Because the mind may just take whatever it likes. Look whatever it likes, eat whatever it likes, speak whatever it likes, act whatever it likes. And you see the mind is higher than the senses. So as the mind wants, then the senses will act. Or as the senses would like, then also they affect the mind. But then higher is the intelligence. So intelligence has to be strong to distinguish what is actually beneficial. What actually will bring me true happiness. And how can I bring others true happiness and benefit? Then the mind becomes strong by studying the scriptures and by applying their teachings. Then intelligence will become very, very strong. And also when we are hearing from realized souls who are very strongly connected with Krishna, with scriptures, then also the intelligence becomes nourished. Because if mind is too strong, it's like a little child. Those who have children, in India you have a lot of family members, huh? Brothers, sisters, cousins, and then it's a big family. I was flying from Bangalore. So I came from South India, from the land of Balaji. I just came yesterday. And then there was a very nice gentleman next to me. And we were speaking, and then we were speaking about Vedas and about Balaji and Krishna. And then also he showed me his family photo. And there was like 15 people there. Usually like in the West, when they show the family photo, there is, husband, wife, and few children, and then maybe the grandparents. But it was like, no, and then he said, it's so nice, and we all live in the same house. So all that, and that's actually a very good thing. And we see those countries where family traditions are valued, when we are more bigger family, everybody's cooperating, supporting each other. We see in those countries, people are more actually satisfied. So the more you become like, I want my privacy, I want to be alone. Of course, we all need our time, but actually it's a good thing to have people support them, they support you. It's very important. It's designed by God, the system of family. And so a lot of family members. So it is little kids, like 3, 4, 5 years old, maybe even older. So for example, and I don't know how much you have with that in India, I guess you must also have, you go with the kids and then the children, they may want something. Okay, I see these sweets there, or these toys or something. And sometimes children can be very, persuasive. I want this. and then, yeah, but in some situations you may say, no, not now, later, or maybe, let's do something else. And you have to guide. You cannot just let, okay, like small child and take whatever you want, go out, go do, you give him 10,000 rupees, go and buy whatever you want. No, it's not like that. There is some control. So the same way also the mind actually requires a parent, and that parent is intelligence. Because otherwise the mind will do anything he likes, but does a small child understand what is actually beneficial for him or her? No. They need guidance. They need protection. So in the same way, we have to strengthen our intelligence in a way that it will control the mind. And even if the mind is very strong, he can say, please, no, this is not, no, you have to do, this will be beneficial. And actually, it will be. The mind also, later on, will feel satisfied and be happy. But if the mind is let run loose, then it will just can destroy everything. But then there is someone higher who is the intelligence, and that is the soul proper, Atma. Yes. And that is the driver in the body. That is who we are. So that is the first part in understanding how to control the mind, is an understanding who you really are. You are a soul, a beautiful effulgent, full of knowledge, bliss, full of love. But that has to be realized. That has to be cultivated. That has to be reawakened. And for that, Krishna is giving that knowledge. And if one connects with the super soul and with the soul, yourself, then you can properly start to does this work? Then you can properly start to, maybe this is more stable. Maybe I'm going to try to speak with this one. So let's see now. Okay, or one more try. Okay, let's give one more try for this microphone. So in this way, understanding who you are and understanding that you have these different parts which has to be properly handled, just like there is a machine and then there is a manual and you use it properly. So that is what is Krishna giving, and that knowledge will save the whole world, starting from yourself. So in this way, there is also a very nice explanation that there is a chariot with horses. So the 5 horses are the 5 senses, and the reins of the horses, which control them, is the mind. But then who holds the reins is the intelligence. And then who is driving in the chariot? That is the soul. So therefore, we have to be very careful and understand. We should not think that I'm the mind. But you see, the mind is such a thing which can be our best friend or worst enemy. Mind which is not under control is our worst enemy. And only because of that the mind is not controlled, there is so much havoc in the world. People are violent. People have no control over their lust, greed, anger, madness, illusion, envy. And they create so many difficulties for themselves and for others. But if the mind is properly controlled, if the mind is purified, properly engaged, then the mind becomes the best friend. And according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained that the mind's position, when it is in a pure state, is in Sattva Gun, on the lotus feet of Sankarshan, lotus feet of the expansion of Krishna. So therefore we have to understand that if the mind is creating us trouble, then there is only one thing left to do. And that is not surrender to the mind, because that means destruction. But it is to purify the mind. So therefore Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the special incarnation of Krishna in this age of Kali, he has said, Jaitu Dharpana Marjanam. The mind is like a mirror. And in a clear mirror which is clean, you can see your reflection, right? You can see yourself. Okay, I'm just making a small joke. Okay, nice beard, yeah, good, okay. Okay, today I'm gonna wear this, yeah, cool, okay. So, so you can see yourself. But if it's a mirror, let's say it's a mirror which has been left somewhere on the, I don't know, somewhere on the street of Delhi with a lot of traffic and a lot of dust is coming. And I've seen such mirrors which actually they are neglected and then they become so dusty. You cannot hardly see yourself from there. So the same thing is that if the mind is purified, it is our friend. We can see very clearly our spiritual nature. and we can act with love, with compassion, with integrity, and we will bring benefit for ourselves and for others in any field of life, material and spiritual. So therefore, it's a very powerful teachings which Krishna is giving for the benefit of humanity. So that means the mind has to be just purified. So therefore, you see people are suffering so many mind problems, depression. There is, they cannot control their feelings of lust or anger or greed, become irritated. So many things are there. Low self-confidence. Huh? People even commit suicide because of the problems in the mind. Because if the mind is uncontrolled, if the mind is dirty, then we become so much affected by the surroundings. And we take this negativity around us so seriously. So the mind has to be purified. And for that, there is a tool. And that is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That is the names of God. Yes, mantras which are names of God. That is very simple to do. Just to chant those names and the mind becomes gradually purified. And you will be amazed how purified. You will experience that there is so much happiness inside of you. But just the mind has to be purified. So and then the more you purify the mind, the more you see the mind starts to cooperate. The mind starts to also think, feel and will love, compassion, devotion, and all other good qualities will more and more manifest from the soul. Just the mind the chitta, the consciousness which is flowing from the soul cannot properly show itself when the mind is dirty. But when the mind is purified by the simple method of chanting the names of God, following the teachings of the scriptures, following the teachings of great souls, then we will see, if we practice, and that practice will make us perfect. And then the mind becomes the best of the friends. Then mind will always support and will help you to accept good things and reject bad things. Bad things means things which are sinful, things which bring you which degrade you and degrade others, or hurt you or hurt others. But then you will accept things and do things which will do benefit for you and for others. Punya, yes, punya karma, bhakti, you do things which only benefit others. So therefore that has to be taken very carefully, because there is only one problem in this world, is that our mind is contaminated. And also the mind is actually not here. And that's from the Western influence. We think mind, psychology, your head. Well, it's processed through the brain, but actually, according to the Vedas, the mind and intelligence and the soul, they're all located in the heart region. So therefore also our emotions, and we don't say like, today I feel like this, or you talking to me? Huh? You talking to me? No. We say, are you talking to me? I feel like this, like that. We naturally put our hand here, not here, or here, I think I'm like this or something like. No, because we intuitively understand I'm a soul. I'm here. And the mind is also here. Mind is very strong with our emotions and feelings. Again, it has to be purified to transmit pure feelings and pure emotions. So therefore, as we can see, mind is something very, and we live with it all the time. So if the mind is not purified, then you're living with your greatest enemy all the time. And then we see people can commit crazy things, go and bomb something, or they go and steal something, or so many horrible things. But if the mind is pure, then these people can go and do so many good things. They can go and arrange a wonderful seminar for everyone's benefit, giving spiritual knowledge. Or they can create nice temples, have nice spiritual programs. Or they can have nice schools and teach everybody and show nice example for them. I have a nice home, take care of the family, so many things. Have a wonderful country, yes, where everything is run by spiritual teachings. So therefore the mind is very, very powerful, but then it has to be handled properly. And in the Bhagavad Gita also there is said that the mind, also there is a chanting the mantra, but then is also many other things which affect it, which we need to practice, is that the mind has to be satisfied. But in order it to be properly satisfied, it should not be like given everything at once, but it should be given good quality things. And that's, first of all, it means spiritual knowledge. And then it can become simple. That means live a simple and pure life. Not having these artificial needs, you know. Be simple and happy with whatever you have. You have a mansion with 5 stories, personal driver car, maybe buyer karma, you'll be satisfied with this. But if you don't have that, then you will be just happy living in some small apartment or something like that. So it doesn't matter. In any condition, you can be spiritual. A lot of money, less money, that is a secondary consideration. And mind has to be serious. You should be serious about self-realization. And self-control, that means you have to control the senses. If you don't control the senses, the mind becomes more dirty. That means if you engage in self-indulgence, which is outside of dharma. So if you follow dharma, also the mind becomes strengthened and becomes controlled. And also austerity of the mind, according to Krishna, is that we have to do things which purify the mind, purify our existence. That means austerities, sacrifice, charity, and all these things should be done in connection with the Supreme Lord and with His teachings as given in the Bhagavad Gita. Then, quite quickly, you get more and more and more purification. And very quickly you can stabilize everything. Even if you are affected by you have come into that kind of state where the mind is so much affected, gradually you can come out of that. And you will see, oh, thank God that I took it seriously. So therefore, any kind of problem can be solved simply by these teachings which Krishna is giving. So therefore, the mind has to be trained that it will always think of the benefit of others. So therefore, that means that's what is real love. That is what is selflessness. That means, I think, what will be good for others? And you know what is the best thing which will be good for others? Is that you purify your mind. Because if your mind is pure, then you will naturally do benefit for others. Because a person with a pure and controlled mind will be acting on the basis of love, compassion, and simplicity, sincerity, knowledge, and so on, in whatever field of life. That's how you make the whole world happy, because everybody wants to be happy. And you see why there is so many problems in the world. That means, like, let's say the students, they are young, they're confused. It happens, right? You know, exams, stress, peer pressure, social media. Oh my God, people didn't like me on Facebook. Oh my God, you know. But these are so external things, but we are so affected. Why? Because we're living on the platform of the mind. So therefore, if you rise above that, then you will start to understand that, wow, you're above the clouds. Oh, okay. Actually, like you go with the plane, and then you see this Delhi is so small. Yeah. So then you will see your problems are not so big. But if you're on the mind platform, oh my God, oh, it's so big. So therefore, we have to change the perspective. And that is so nice when you actually gradually come and you can live on that platform. And in this way, you will see actually these problems, they do exist. But then you can properly handle them and you can solve them by Krishna's teachings, and you can help others. So therefore, the whole world, you see, there is pollution, there is wars, there is different violence or whatever, poverty, all these kind of things which going on in the world. These are only because that we have turned away from God's teachings. And we think, no, we will do our own way. But what is the result? Huh? We see. The nature is polluted. The soil is polluted. But that's because we are polluted inside. Because of our bad habits, sinful habits, and not controlling our mind, not purifying the mind. And then it even goes to the level when people will say, you know, I am this, but you are different. And then because of religion or nations or politics, and they fight. But we are all human beings. We are all souls, children of God. You have a beard, and let's say you don't have a beard. So what's the big deal? You both want to be happy. So, but you see, if the mind is not controlled, if the mind is polluted, then you will start to think of these differences so much. So that doesn't mean, of course, that if you raise above the mind, then you will think that everything is one. No, it is not. Then you feel, okay, potato or carrot doesn't matter. So no, then you will start to understand everything has its function and nature. But then you will properly use those things. It will not create conflict. Yeah. So there should be no like the I heard the British or politicians, they said Pakistan, Hindustan, or whatever, this country, that country, everything belongs to God. We should all live together. We have some differences, that's natural, but we have so much more in common. So, and Krishna is teaching through that art of mind control, that purification, come to that level of unity in diversity, that we are all centered around God. And that all starts from yourself. And we all can take benefit, and we can all learn that. And then in this way, we will not deviate from love, from compassion, from knowledge, from giving benefit to others. No, because we're always on the level of Dharma. And then we'll be happy, we'll be satisfied. And whatever problems, difficulties life brings, we'll be able to deal with them with grace, with humility, and we can properly learn from them. So that's a knowledge which needs to be taught. Then gradually all kinds of difficulties, they become less, and also we'll have a proper standard of dealing with them. So we have to purify our nature and to become conscious of God, conscious of Krishna. And in this way we can become fully satisfied. But the more we think how we can satisfy our senses, then the more unsatisfied we actually become. So therefore, this is the first part of our wonderful seminar today. And I was also asked that I can take some questions, 10-15 minutes. So, dear students or teachers, do you have any questions? So this is the question and answer part, and then after that we'll proceed to His Grace Amrita Gaur Prabhu, and he's going to speak in Hindi, right? He's really good, ecstatic. In Hindi, he's gonna speak so nicely, even more deeply about this topic. And then we have many other nice parts coming. So we have a very nice continuations. But now we have spoken 32 minutes. 32 is our lucky number, my lucky number. Wow, 32 minutes. Very good. That's a sign from Krishna that I'm in the right place with the right people speaking the right thing. So therefore, dear students or teachers, is there something you would like to ask about this topic or anything which is related to this? I'm practicing Krishna consciousness for 17 years, and I've had so many different experiences with the mind. I've had experience when the mind is uncontrolled, oh my God, and then coming to that control level, and then, oh my God, so nice. It's so nice to be there. And then you see, wow, you want to so much share this, you want everybody to be happy. So you have a question, huh? Yeah. So if you can maybe stand up, and I guess you need to use the microphone, and then maybe I'm gonna speak. You can use this.
I'll pass it on.
Yes, I'm gonna speak this.
Hello. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I have a question that you said that we should do something for the benefit of the others.
Yes, yes.
So the thing is that we hear people doing that we do benefit of the others to social service and all. Like people are engaged in social service and all.
Yes, yes.
So, but the thing is that what I say to those that through social service you can benefit 1, 2 or minimum 100 or 200 people. But through Krishna consciousness or getting into the service of the Lord, Krishna, Supreme Lord, you can benefit the entire mankind and the humanity. But the people give their own arguments that how can you prove that? So how should I convince those people that Krishna consciousness is the best way of social service?
Thank you. Very nice question. Thank you. So please, you can sit down. Very nice, practical question. Well, we have to. Okay. Here's this. So we have to understand that we have to respect everyone. People are different. I mean, it doesn't mean that now that, okay, somebody's doing sinful things, killing cows, or oh my God, something like that, and oh yeah, it's so. No. Of course, we should always be against adharma. Yeah? We should help give them knowledge how to act properly and show our own example. That's how it's the best we do. We follow ourselves, then we have a strength to teach the right thing. Yes, but in that we have to respect others. That means people are different, and some people, they have those kind of talents, abilities, facilities, that they open hospitals or schools, or they do these are also important parts of life. Let's say, if nobody was making clothes, so we'd be all running around naked, huh? That's a little bit crazy, like animals. So we need people who make clothes. So we have to understand everything has its purpose. But then what we are supposed to teach is that, but do that in God consciousness. That means if you do social service, you're distributing food to the poor or clothes, then with that also try to give them spiritual knowledge. Not only give them, like Jesus said, give fish, but learn them how to fish. Of course, we're vegetarians, so we don't learn how to fish, but that's the principle, is that we teach people how they can do their profession or walk of life on the principles of Dharma. Not if they only think that, okay, now I'm doing good for others on that. Let's say I do good for the body and the mind, and that's the whole thing. Then of course they're missing the full point. That means we have to take care of the body. It's not that now we are spiritual, so we can neglect the body. No. Do you neglect your car? Let's say we came here today with the taxi, and then taxi comes to pick us up from the ISKCON temple, and then we break the windows and the tires, and we let the gas flow out, and then we say, okay, let's go now to the Venkateswar College, and then I don't know, the taxi driver would like drop dead from the shock or something. So naturally we take care. So that means we also take care of our body, our mind and senses, but with that knowledge that it's all an instrument for God's service. So therefore also, all these programs are important, but just in what consciousness we do that. So we should not only save the coat of a drowning man, and we should not save just the coat. The coat is not something, we should save the soul. So, but here it is something that if people are already doing different programs and things, then it's not that they have to stop, but it's then change the consciousness. Arjuna wanted to stop fighting. I will go to the forest. Krishna said, no, you have to fight, you're a child, but do that in a consciousness for me. So therefore, this is what I would recommend, to approach from that side and see that they are following spiritual principles, and then through those services, they would also serve those people by giving them spiritual knowledge and doing in that kind of, then it would have a much more benefit. Do you find that answer helpful?
Yeah, of course.
Haribo. So, anyone else?
I think I myself have a small question. You have been working in the world of religion, and you have been working with respect to Krishna consciousness. Some of us are highly religious, some are highly irreligious, and some have religion in their private domain. And some consider religion to be something which is in the public domain. They go to the temples and the churches, etc. As a person working in the world of spirituality, how do you look at other religions? because there is a community of religions worldwide. And some of those religions are all inspirational in their own ways, in spiritually awakening people. And the sort of solace which sometimes some of these religions gives is tremendous. For example, near our college, there is a Gurudwara. And the Gurudwara serves food for the poor. And it is as part of the Granth Sahib as well as their religious gurus that they take inspiration in this. And as much as Bhagavad Gita was an inspiration for the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who in fact read the original Bhagavad Gita in English through a translated version by the principal of Deccan College, Pune. He had written the English version and Mahatma Gandhi read through that. It said that after Mahatma Gandhi read it, his version of Bhagavad Gita was translated into Gujarati by another person. So it was a circuitous way in which he got it. But he was as much inspired by the Sermon on the Mount in the Bible. So what is your take with respect to interreligious conversations? How much do you think it is very important in a world sometimes where we feel that religious differences are coming as a very big issue? Don't you think that there should be, as a spiritual leader, don't you think that there should be good conversations across religions? Do you think it would be a very good way to begin or walk the talk together? Because we find recently the Pope himself was trying to say that we should have a larger understanding of different religions. So what is your perspective on it?
Thank you, sir. Very excellent question from Krishna Kumar. I really like your name, Krishna Kumar. You remind me of Krishna. So, very practical question, isn't it? Because in India especially, there is so many different worshippers and different religions, everybody's living together. So and in other parts of the world too, so it's very relevant. So, my experience and what I have learned is that God is one. That Supreme Lord, but He comes in different names. So Krishna, Rama, Vishnu, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Jesus, and so on. These are the names of the one and the same God. And therefore here, what I have understood is that we all come from Him. He is the source of all of us. And throughout time, He has come as different avatars. He has sent His sons, His prophets, His servants, His messengers. And we see that throughout these ages, these different messages and religions and philosophies, they actually share so much in common. So that is my experience. The more I look at the Bible, the more I look at the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, the Torah, the other scriptures, I see that the essence is the same. God has given it to different groups of people, because people in essence are similar, but still there are different ages and people have different situations. So then you can see Krishna revealed the Vedas here in Bharata Bhumi, but then Jesus Christ, He appeared there in the Middle East, and so on. So there are maybe a little bit different situations, but the essence is the same. So therefore, the more I look at these different spiritual traditions, and I look what is the essential things they teach, then I became very inspired. And I see they're all my brothers and sisters. And it's very interesting you ask this question, because for the past about 8 years, I've been regularly taking part of interreligious faith conversations. And even once I was invited to a worldwide interreligious faith meeting in South Korea. 3 days, and we had hundreds of religious leaders from all over the world, from all types of faiths. And we all had so much in common. And that was a very powerful experience. And we learned so much from each other, and we could appreciate each other. And they could really see that we can work it together. But we have to rise above a sectarian type of faith. We have to embrace the true faith that our Father, our God is one. And we should not focus on the details, but the principles. Because then you see it's the same principles that you have to love everyone as yourself, and would love yourself. You should worship God with your heart, soul, and everything. And if we focus on that, then we can actually have that kind of unity in diversity. So I have great faith and experience that the more we live in this kind of mood, which actually this is coming if you properly understand the scripture, and if we spread that kind of mood, then we can create a much better world, a much better tomorrow. And I feel that that's what God is helping us to do. So therefore, yes, we should speak with each other. We should, and we should learn, and we should explain how it's understood in our scripture, how it's understood in your scripture. And even if some details differ, that is not so important. What is important is that we will see, and we will see, if we properly do that with an open mind. And the better, not with an open, but a pure mind, is that actually these essential principles are the same. And then you can become inspired, and then you can inspire each other, and it's still, you're gonna be a perfect, and then you can I can help you to become a perfect Christian, but you can help me to become a perfect Christian devotee, and then he can be a perfect Muslim. And actually, Bhagavad Gita teaches these principles in a very systematic, organized way. So therefore, you as from India, you can take so much advantage, study the Gita, and then if you help others understand, then that will be beneficial for their faith. And you can learn many things from other faiths as well. So that is my experience, and I feel very hopeful and very inspired that if we continue following Krishna, and if we try to understand others properly, and also respect them, that they have come, let's say, on the Christian path or Muslim path, that they also something God has given that opportunity for them. But yes, but it's all about us becoming free from sectarianism, and us becoming actually pure in our consciousness and mind, and following the Gita. And in this way we can see the universal brotherhood. God is one. He has many names. Now let us all come together and sing and glorify Him and give Him praise. Jai. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki Jai. So that's my experience, and thank you for the nice question. Okay, it's 46 minutes, but I think, yes, please, definitely we can take a couple of more questions, yeah? Is that okay? Amrita Gaur? So, and there was a lady also, and then you could be the next one, or whoever.
Hare Krishna, I am Dr. Arpita Kaur, and I teach in Department of Commerce. So when you started your talk, you were talking something related to, benefits. We should think about what is beneficial, maybe for the greater good. But then, aren't there moments when we think, yeah, this is beneficial for the greater good, but it's not always supposed to be right. I mean, in the sense that, how do we make that decision that what we are doing, if it is beneficial for the greater good and it is not right, should it be done? Or is it the plain rule that, whatever is beneficial for the greater good is supposed to be right?
Good question. No, thank you. So thank you for the question. So the basis of determining is the intelligence, but then the intelligence is nourished by scripture. So therefore we should go to the Dharma Shastras, the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, and we should see, so okay, we have some certain situation, some Kala Desha Patra, time, place, circumstance. So we try to examine the scripture, we can ask advice from experienced spiritual people, and try to determine now what would be the best in this kind of situation, which may be a little bit different in another situation, but and then if we are sincere, Krishna will give us the intelligence. So it's the basis is the Guru Sadhu Shastra, yes. So we can consult with the scripture, with the Guru, with the spiritually realized persons, and then with the careful analysis, examination, then we can come to the proper conclusion, so that what would be now in our situation how we can apply these spiritual principles so that then it will be beneficial spiritually and let's say materially, and it would bring that kind of long, let's say, gradual progress and development. So that's how I would answer your question. That's the how to approach that, and therefore it's important also again that we increase our own purity, because the more we do our own good sadhana and we do that bhakti, love for God, then it also we will see our intelligence becomes more broad, and then also when we address even very critical situations or very big or broad problems, we can then see the solutions better. And sometimes if we are even on the religious path, but we are have some inner problems of our own and maybe not following so nicely, then also the solutions may always be apparent. So, and then we get into this, maybe just thinking, how can I save myself only? But then trying to also consider the others. So there are these gradations. Does it make sense? Yeah. So that would be the advice for that. Are you satisfied with the answer? Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna. So there was somebody from here, or who's next? Okay, we got a lady there in the pink.
Hare Krishna. So actually I haven't read this book yet, but I'm definitely gonna read it now. So I've heard about Bhagavad Gita is that if you have any problem in your life, if you're confused or if you're angry, just open any page of Bhagavad Gita and read it, and you'll find your answer on that page. So is it true?
Here is your answer. Here is your answer. Here is your answer.
Of course it's true. I could have just shouted yes, but I just wanted to say a few extra words. So thank you for the nice question. You can sit down. So it's true. So, dear lady, is that any problem you have, or any one of you, or any person all over the world may have, the solution is in the Gita. Yes, it is that. And here, the devotees in ISKCON, they have made a very nice chart. So these are one of the main problems people, quite universally, globally, like anger, confusion, fear, lust, pride, laziness, greed. Laziness, students, I don't want to study. Okay, so then you can get, what is that? Loneliness. Yes, we get lonely sometimes, feel, oh my God, I'm so lonely. So then, and uncontrolled mind, temptation, seeking peace, demotivation, depression, losing hope. So then this chart can be used, and therefore everybody can consult the Gita. And if you do that, you will find those solutions. So it's very nice, and it's those papers which were given to everyone. I think you have the chart. So therefore now you have your best friend now. Krishna is Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is the best friend, and he's there in the Gita, in your heart, and so you just have to pray and see and apply, and then gradually you will solve everything. Okay? Yes? So there was a gentleman.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's like at that crucial time of your life when you are a student, obviously we all are, some of us are teachers here. So what we need at this time is to be stable. There's everything around you, something that you can deal with, something that you are struggling to deal with. So how to keep your mind stable during this crucial phase, because this is the phase that decides the direction you will go in. So you start someday, but you cannot keep going for so long. In a long run, it's not helpful. So what's your advice on that?
Excellent question, thank you. Good question, relevant, right? So Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita gives the answer to that, is that we have to be balanced. That means we have to regulate our sleeping, our eating, our working, and our resting. So therefore, if you're a student, students usually have a lot of energy because they're young people. So, but you have to manage your energy properly. You have to become an expert manager of your body, mind, and speech. So therefore, you have to see that these things, you're sleeping. Krishna says also, one who doesn't sleep too much or too little, one who doesn't eat too much or too little, and one, this is now the same verse, that one who is regulated in his activities of eating, sleeping, and resting and working, then he can actually overcome all miseries and practice yoga properly. And yoga doesn't mean only yoga postures, but it means, yoga means connection with the Lord. That means following the Gita. So therefore, these are the things. I was a student myself in Tartu University. I have experience. I know when you're out of balance, and then everything becomes, oh my God, it becomes difficult. But when you try to balance these things, eating, sleeping, working, resting, that means not too much, not too little. And understand that you as a student, so now one of your duties now is to study nicely. So then you have to understand you have a goal orientation. Let's say you want to nicely finish the school in a healthy mind, sane mind. So you have to understand now I have to see that I'm acting for that goal. That means I should cut away those things which are distractions. Yes? That means if I need to study, and I'll tell you everyone from my own experience, now you simply need to study. Of course, study the Gita, follow the Gita, that's the main thing. But then you're a student in your field, simply study and understand that you have to do that. And if you do that, you will see, you will be stable and peaceful. But what the students, they do, the mistake is that they neglect their study, neglect the classes, neglect the homework, neglect the advice of teachers, and then they go into those problems, which may end up very badly sometimes. So therefore, you have to understand that your austerity, your duty, is to study nicely, which means you have to mold your life in such a way that the study can be properly done. And then for that purpose, that means you should not stay up late, or you should not, put your energy, into some kind of just enjoyment activities. You should do that tapasya, that you go to classes, study, do the homework, do the exams, because it's not so difficult actually, but you have to make that effort. So these things which Krishna says, and I gave now one practical example, and this will surely make you stable, and this is universal, so I can recommend it to everyone. And then try to support each other, because you see, when you finish your education, then probably most of you will go work, start a family. So then you will have free time. You will work, you will have a family, and then then you will also have those parts of life as well. But now when you're a student, you should not think, okay, now how can I enjoy it to the fullest? Now, you have to, a student means discipline. Disciple means discipline. So therefore you have to discipline yourself, good habits, purity of mind, following dharma, and then doing your studies nicely. And then helping, supporting each other in that. Don't go running into some, I don't know what they do in India, but in the West, nightclubs, or I don't know, watch television, all these kind of things. Don't become diverted. So therefore you should direct your energies properly, and understand that it's a little bit difficult, but it's gonna pay off in the future. So what about that? Do you feel, is that helpful? Yes? Good. So that's one of the best advices I can give as a former student. But I'm always a student, because the more we learn, the more we understand, the more is to learn. So life is like a university. But in that phase, when you are, like official university, that part, that is very important. Okay, well, maybe we take one more question and then we proceed, because we have a time schedule. But if later on in the end,
I think the last question could be his.
Yes.
And then
let's go forward. So, last question, please.
Hare Krishna. So my question is: in the beginning, you told we want calmness in our life. We want to be happy and satisfied. But there is one part of us who is ambitious, who wants hustle in our life, who wants to enjoy the ups and downs in our life.
Yeah.
So how do we balance both of them?
Okay. Thank you.
It's a very nice question, thank you. Okay, let's say you're very ambitious. Then use it in a positive way. Let's say you're ambitious in business, then you become the most richest businessman in the whole world. But do it according to spiritual principles. So therefore, some of us may have that, want to achieve something, do something very, very big. That's good. But then try to do that according to those principles of Dharma. And not that you start, stepping on people's heads or, doing that with like everybody is my competitor, I'm going to just like destroy them and like that. So therefore, it's not that we have to now be everybody the same. No, it's like we have different talents and different ways. But what we have to see is that we do it according to divine qualities, which Krishna explains. Then everything goes well. So we have to just distinguish that. Okay, if I'm ambitious or want to enjoy everything, then if it's in a way that it makes me act, with lust, anger, greed, and with sins, then I should control that. Then I should just put all that energy into doing the right thing, which let's say the Krishna gives. And in this way, if we do that discipline, gradually doing the right thing will purify us, and gradually these tendencies to be crazy and do some kind of this kind of unrestricted enjoyment, this will get less and less because of the power of the spiritual sadhana. So is that okay? You understand? Good. So thank you so much. We will conclude this part. Thank you so much for attentive listening. And our special seminar continues now with the next part. And that's going to be by His Grace, Amrita Gaura Prabhu. So I thank you so much. And so let us now focus on the next part. Hare Krishna.